واجتنبه. آمين يا رب. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته, sisters. We're brother Muhammad, inshallah, Rabbil Alameen, an honor always to have brother Muhammad here, mashallah, Tabarak ar-Rahman. And I wish actually his wife with us, the best sweet ever Palestinian food.
Not me, my wife.
His girlfriend. I like it. I like it. And inshallah, brothers and sisters, I'm going to continue speaking about how to protect our kids, especially in school, social media, outside. Don't forget, we are Muslims, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are targeted. Anywhere you are. Allah Azza wa Jalla يقول سورة العنكبوت. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ألف لام ميم. أحسب الناس أن يتركوا أن يقولوا آمنا وهم لا يفتنون. Allah said, أحسب الناس, they think we are believer in Allah, believe in Allah, believe in Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there's no trials and tribulation. And now our kids, many, especially regardless, Muslim school, Islamic school, private school, charter school, all the problems. We have to protect ourselves. May Allah guide ourselves. Brother Muhammad, really, we have to speak about this topic. It's a very important topic. To me, yes, my kids adults, but I consider actually all the babies, all the kids is my kids too. How to deal with this kind, how to solve this problems. We discussed it even before we the followers.
We talked about a little bit about how to, of course. I said that when you were saying your thing. This, I think one of the things that when we talked before we logged on was, how to keep our kids from being victims.
There's a key, victim. A lot of kids victim.
Yeah. And I think what we as Muslims have this ideology that if our kids are in a Muslim school or in an Islamic school, that khalas, like they're safe. And that, we don't need to do too much. We don't need to talk too much to our children. We don't need to tell them too many things, or we don't even want to talk to our kids about certain things because it becomes a very scary topic to talk to our children about. Right? We don't want to talk to our kids about, hey, listen, if somebody tries to, a teacher or a coach or an Islamic teacher or an English teacher tells you something or tells you to do something that you feel uncomfortable with, you have to say no.
Absolutely.
And you have to come to me as your father, as your mother, as your parent, as your guardian, and tell me, hey, dad or mom or grandma, this is what happened in school yesterday, or this is what happened in school today. We talked a little bit about that, right? We talk to our kids and we ask them the questions about what happened in school today, and they say, you say, how was school? Oh, good. But they're not going to really get down deep into what really happened. So you ask them the open-ended questions, right? And this, when you have that development, when you develop that rapport with your kids, that conversation back and forth, you want them to come to you and say, hey, I was at basketball practice the other day, or I was at soccer practice the other day, and we were in the locker room, and the coach did this to me, or this person gave me some candy, and it made me feel funny. Like, we want our kids to be open, right, to talk to us, so we can teach them about those certain situations. That's when it happens, right? So we want to talk about how to make sure it doesn't happen, right? So we have to tell our kids beforehand, explain to our kids beforehand.
But before this, Brother Muhammad, how to make the parents actually doing that? But a lot of people, parents, mom and dad, they're working and working and working, and barely to have time for the kids to discuss it. Yes, I agree with you 100%, but not every parent have time to speak, to open their hearts to the kids.
And that's where it comes into play to talk about how it takes a community to raise the kids, right? And so we have to find, as parents, people that are on the same page as we are. Just because a person or your neighbor might be a Muslim doesn't mean they're a good Muslim. We in our heads think, okay, this brother prays 5 times a day, or this brother, mashallah, he reads the Quran all the time. That tells us that he's a good person.
No,
unfortunately, it doesn't. We know non-Muslims who are better Muslims than Muslims. And that's kind of sad when you have that reality that a lot of people who are not Muslims are better than Muslims with our children, with our families. They have more of a heart and empathy. They can empathize with our kids. They want to help. And so when you find, neighbors or friends or relatives who are really close and on the same wavelength as you are on, that's when you want to start saying, okay, listen, we need to talk to our kids about the situation. Hey, my son came to me and told me this and this. How do I approach my son on this? And you have your neighbors, you have your family, you have your friends. If you can develop a good community network, that can be life-changing for the kids as well.
There's a problem. A lot of area people not living in the Muslim plus a lot be able to see masajid take care of the kids.
Yeah.
For example, our masjid bombing, many masajid.
Yeah, mashallah.
All people come to Allah Akbar, pray and master.
Yeah.
Well, our kids
we had
barely to see that.
Yeah, and we had the discussion at one of the masjids the other day when I said, when I talked to one of the brothers, and I didn't know he had so many kids, and he didn't know how many kids I have, and we've been going to this masjid for how many years in Pompano? And
since I came to America, 1988, I came to America,
and it's amazing to me.
Until now, no.
Yeah, and we don't know about each other.
No,
exactly. And that's one of the biggest downfalls that we have as Muslims. We don't connect with one another.
Yeah.
We connect about, they're killing us over there, they're doing this to us over there, they're destroying our country. We connect on that level. But everything else we don't connect. Instead of saying let's help the brother out, we say, stay away from Ibrahim because Ibrahim is a bad guy. Don't talk to that son of his. He does drugs or he does this. Instead of saying, hey, let's help each other out. How can we fix Ibrahim's son?
Yeah.
How can we help Ibrahim's family? Right. And so we kind of have to change that mindset of, just hiding in our houses by ourselves. Go to the masjid, salim, and run. Go home.
But I just heard something beautiful, Brother Muhammad, and this actually for everybody listening to us here. I was actually in next to my house in Texas, next to the masjid. The Imam, mashallah, his Quran, he's good Imam. But now they brought in another Imam called a youth director Imam, youth director. And then I just heard in the video and heard about him. And mashallah, he dealing with the kids. He's a kid. Actually. Yeah. He's an Imam, yeah.
Younger.
But he making the kids now. In my time, not only that Imam, if the Imam not there, I was leading the Salah because I was sick in that time. Okay. Now we need some opinion. What do they see? Like a residence Imam for the youth.
Yeah. Oh, I totally 100% agree with that. I mean, I always agree with having somebody who can relate to the kids better.
Exactly.
I mean, I've seen imams who are, in the older age imams who, when kids come and ask a question about something, it's, why is this haram? It's haram. That's because Allah says it's halas. That's it. And you get that response once, twice, 3 times. Halas, I'm not going to ask any more questions because in Islam, everything's haram. That's the kid's mindset, is everything's haram in Islam. And so when we talked, I know we talked in the previous episodes of how we're not, this country, this society that we're living in isn't built for the Muslimin, right? Everything is haram around us.
I repeat this again. We're not built for this society. Muslims are not built for this society. I agree with you.
And we're built different. And that's why, again, one of the things I always tell the kids that I talk to in the schools is, Muslims, we're built different, right? Like Ford has their, built tough or whatever. And, McDonald's had, have it your way, all these different logos. Mine is Muslims are built different. I mean, we don't do what everybody else does. And so when we talk about, trusting everybody, right? Because, we Muslims, we have to, we feel like, he's an imam, I can trust him. He's a sheikh, I can trust him. He's, a Muslim brother, I can trust him. And, I have this problem all the time, especially when we coach sports, where parents will just, leave their kids and then they would go run errands for the hour that their kids are with me. Well, no, you don't know who I am. Why do you trust me enough to just leave me with your kids for 1 hour? I'm not your kid's babysitter. I'm not, we're not these people. You have to sit here with your kid.
This is very important. This point is excellent point.
And so it annoys me when I see, parents just throwing their kids at the masjid, dropping them off on a Friday night or on a Saturday night, and their parents leave. They're going to go out to eat dinner, or they're going to go out to do. What are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah. Why would you leave your kid by himself? I get it. We're supposed to, it's a masjid. It's supposed to be. Just like our schools are supposed to be safe. but they're not.
No.
You know, and so who is going to be the one that's going to protect your kid the most?
And even another problem, when I was actually in South Carolina, the Imam, Sunday school, weekend school. Then I make meeting, every month I make meeting for the parents.
Yeah.
Come to the parents because we discuss the problem, especially what's going on.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, 1% of the parents come to the meeting.
I've seen that. I've been through that. And I've always said to the schools, let's have a parent night. Let's have a parent night. Bring all the parents over here. Let me talk to the parents, face to face and explain to them why their kids are coming home and telling them the stuff that I've been telling the kids in the classrooms. Because I have been, yelled at a couple of times or not, told, why did you tell my kid that he needs to come and tell me to go play basketball with him? Why did you tell my kid that I should, help them with their homework and stay up with them? When I finish work, I'm tired. Because that's what I tell the kids. I tell the kids, you have to go to your parents and tell your parents, hey, dad, hey, mom, can you, play some basketball with me? Hey, can you, let's do something together. Because a lot of parents forget that they have to do that. And I don't blame the parents. I blame the society we live in. The society we live in has to have the parents working full-time jobs in order to just live.
That means, I understand here, we're blaming the parents more than the kids. Because the parents supposed to help the kids for especially what's going on.
Yeah, but you can't just keep blaming parents. Parents have a lot on their plate. We have a lot.
Yeah.
We do. We have a lot. I mean,
it's very important point.
We have to make sure that we have the bills paid. We have to make sure they have food on the table. We have to make sure they have a roof over their head. There's a lot that we as parents have to do. So, we have to understand also that, we just can't blame the parents, but you can't just keep blaming the kid. It's a two-way street in any relationship, husband, wife, mother, father, child, adult. In any relationship, it takes two people, one person to break it, and both people have to be on the same page, or they're not going to make it. So both people have to be on the same page in a relationship in order to succeed. So if you,
I like that.
Yeah. So you can't really keep blaming.
I'm not blaming. No.
Yeah, but I do a whole thing about living below your means. Right? You make $50,000 a year. Don't live like you're making $100,000 a year. Live like you're making $20,000 a year. Lower your expenditures.
Yeah.
Right. You don't need to have the newest shoes just because you're trying to compete with everybody else out there.
Kids do that.
The kids do that, and the parents, they fall into that trap of doing that with it. Oh, I don't want to make my kid feel bad because he's going to go to school and their kids are going to make fun of him. Well, teach your kid how to defend themselves, how to be strong on the inside.
I like that. Yeah.
And it goes back to the bullying conversation, right? Teach your kid how to understand that. Yeah. Okay. Well, I wear my Walmart shoes. You're going to make fun of me for wearing Walmart shoes? I don't care. Because at the end of the day, shoes are shoes, shirts are shirts. I tell people all the time when they tell me they spend $400 on shoes, you spend $400 on something that you're going to step and poop in? Does it make sense? It doesn't make sense. So I try to explain to people that, you make 100,000, you make 50,000, you make 20, lower your expenditures. Don't go out there spending in wild and crazy. Teach your kids. Who cares what people think or what people say? We don't care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you start teaching your kid having all that confidence inside of them, you're going to start to see a big change. And that goes back to becoming a victim. Right. And so when we talk about these imams and these teachers and all these people who see these kids and who take advantage of them, right? Take advantage of them doing do bad stuff with these kids. We have to kind of understand that, working in the jails with these people that I've worked with all these years and all these times and going to the homes with these people and living and working with these guys, I get to ask questions to them. The prisoners, the inmates, the people on probation, all these people, why do you choose? How do you choose who you rob or who you steal from? What makes you decide who? Right? And who's your victim? Like, how do you plan your victim out? Because there's a sea of people walking around on the streets. How do you pick and choose which one? And, they come back and they tell me these things. It's not written in a book. It's not, maybe there's statistics about it. Maybe there's, different, things that you can read about it. But when you hear it from the people who've done it, it's mind changing. It's crazy to learn the stuff that these guys think of and how they think who is going to be their next victim.
Ya Allah.
And so they look for some of the most easiest things that we don't even think about. They can just look by a person by the way they walk, if that person has confidence or not. If somebody's slouching, they say, "Hey, Mr. Muhammad," when somebody is walking around slouching their back, they're slouching and or they're busy on their phone and they're not paying attention, or we go to a park and we see a parent who's on their phone and they're just looking at their phone while their kid's playing around. And the mom is just on their phone watching social media or flipping through the social media, not paying attention to the kids. We see that. This is what they tell me. We see these things. We see a person who lacks confidence, we're going to steal their wallet from them. We see a mom not paying attention to their kid, we're going to go take that kid. Very simple.
Read
the most simplest things that they read, that they know, that they see. And I always ask them, because I feel like I want to know these things, because maybe I'm crazy or whatever, but would you rob from me? And I would ask, would I be a victim of it? They said, no, you would never be a victim. And I would ask them why. Well, because, we see the way you walk around in here, and we see, your presence kind of demands, demands some type of attention. And it doesn't make any sense to me what they were saying, because that's not what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking, I'm going to walk around here demanding people to, but the way they see it, well, Muhammad, you have a certain level of confidence in you that, we wouldn't mess with you.
That's good, actually. People actually making tattoo.
Mm-hmm.
Tattoo. Everyone make tattoo have no confidence, no feel self-esteem.
I think with that whole situation, I think, when you talk to people who have all that, they're so busy trying to be different than everybody else that they end up being the same. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like when you're trying to be different, I'm going to get a tattoo here. Well, thousands of people already have a tattoo over here. So you're trying to be different, but you're also being like everybody else. And it goes back to, again, the lack of confidence, right? Yeah. Like you said, we do a tattoo or we dress a certain way to build that confidence, which I agree. If I'm going to go to a neighborhood or to a certain place that I don't know, I'm going to do my research and understand where I'm going, where I'm walking, what I'm doing, who's around me. Oh. Right. And so even if you're going to, a grocery store or the market down the street, you want to know where you're going, what you're doing, where the entrance is, where the exit is. Right. Look at people while they're walking. Maybe,
wow.
Maybe I'm a little, because I've been in it for so long, I've been in the field for so long. I look at everybody, I watch everybody, and I get the vibes, the different, like, the vibes, the aura, the energy that people are feeding out to you. This guy looks like this, or this girl looks like that, or this person looks like they might be, doing something shady. So maybe I'm a different person because I've worked in it for so long. But if you don't take a look at people while you're walking around, and you're not paying attention to your surroundings, and being aware of where the exits are, and I tell people, don't live in fear, but be aware.
Yes.
Right. Be aware of the people around you. Be aware of the masajid, of the mosques, of the churches. And you think we have that? We're not the only ones that have that problem. We have there's synagogues that do the same problem. There's churches. We all know churches have plenty of problems with doing stuff with kids and everything like this. So we know that it's not just a Muslim problem; it's a world problem.
Something you just mentioned, the church. The church, bro. I give a lecture in the church, not debate. My Islam 1, 2, 3, all this. But I found in the churches an area for babies, an area for kids, 6 years. They take care of the kids, and then the priest speak or the speaker. I'm the speaker.
Yeah.
Why the Messiah is not doing that?
Some of them, I will say, some of them just do.
And synagogue too.
Yes, and synagogues do the same thing. They have little daycares or aftercare and stuff like this. And we do. Listen, the Pablo Masjid has a whole, playground for the kids. They have Salah Tawfiq has a nice, little play area out there for the kids. So we do have our masjids do have certain things like this. It's not just about that. It's also the fact that some of the parents leave their kids and they'll just go.
Mistake.
And so when there's an issue with the masjid with a kid, and we're looking for parents to say, "Hey, where's your mom and dad?" Oh, they're not here. What do you mean they're not here? Where's your mom and dad? And I always, even when I coach these sports, when I coach soccer or basketball or something, I always tell the parents, please don't leave. If something happens to your kid, you have to be here with your kid.
Yes.
If I have to send your kid to the hospital or something happens or hurt themselves, you need to be here.
Agree. But here's something very important. Some parents do bring the kids to the school, and then the kids have problem with their kids together.
Oh yeah, of course.
I don't want my kids to come to school.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the other problem that I have here too, because we have one little problem in a school. We want to, throw our kids back into the public schools, or we want to throw our kids
Yes,
back to
right. Some people do it. What do you think about this?
And what happens is, like, you're gonna have problems in every school you go to.
Yes.
No, I don't care if it's an Islamic school or a non-Islamic school. Even the synagogues that have their schools, the temples have their schools, the Catholic churches have their schools. Every school we go to is gonna have a problem. We have a school here that it's a very rich school. I'm not gonna say any names just in case.
Our neighbor here.
No, not here. It's on the other side, but it's a really wealthy.
This school too.
That too.
Yeah.
And I try to explain to people, just because these people are spending $80,000-$90,000 a year on their kids, high school education, don't think that they're not having problems.
Absolutely agree.
They're just having rich people problems. I mean, but it's the same situation. And people tell me, well, I want to live out in this area because this area is clean. Well, I will tell you, I work throughout the whole county, and yes, there are $1 million homes over there, but they have problems over there, just like we do. They just hide it better. That's the only difference between what people see, what people don't see.
But we need solution for our kids not to have this kind of fear. Protect our kids from, especially a lot of kids anxiety, medicine. How to protect our kids with this kind of value?
We can talk about mental health. That's all. Mental health is a whole different ball game, and that's a whole different episode. But for me, what I would kind of advise the parents and even the kids. I hope there's kids watching.
Please, I wish the kids are watching that. Yeah,
we have to teach our kids how to be tough, right? How to defend themselves, how to talk quick, how to respond quick, how to defend themselves. Well, not just fighting, but defending themselves, right? Because we Muslims, we never become the aggressor.
Yeah,
we defend
absolutely agree.
We always defend ourselves. Allah says, I'm not going to help you unless you help yourself first. So if we don't teach our kids how to defend themselves, how to know when you need to defend yourself, right? Explain to them the situations. If a person's touching you here, if a person's telling you to come in here, I don't care if it's an imam or a teacher or a priest or a coach. If they're telling you to do something, and you have to ask yourself, should I or shouldn't I? You shouldn't. The same thing I tell the kids, the Muslim kids, when I tell them, if you have to think if it's haram or halal, if you have to ask, is that halal or haram? If you're asking that question, it's probably haram. Don't do it and stay away from it. It's a simple answer, And so when we talk to our kids, it's like, okay, understand that this right here, you have, and I draw a circle on the board. If I had a board, I draw a circle and a little circle in the middle. This right here is your boundaries, right? In that circle right here, immediate circle is your family. Mom, dad, brother, sister. Those are only people that are allowed to get in that circle. They can only get this close to you. Whereas the next circle around you is your friends, your teachers, your people around you, that you keep them at a distance, right? You kind of draw that circle in their minds. This is your personal space. Please don't come into my personal space. And listen, we're living in America. We have the right to say, I don't want you in my personal space. I need you to back away from me and take a step back. And then we need to teach our kids, boys and girls, how to defend themselves, how to be tough, how to say no. Just how to say no. And then if somebody touches you or somebody does something to you, you have the right to defend yourself. I think what religion is it when they say turn the other cheek? What does that mean? When somebody hits you, Christian, they say, somebody hits you, turn the other cheek and don't. No. Not Muslims. Not Muslims. We fight back.
Absolutely.
You have the right and you need to fight back, and teach our kids how to be, how to fight, how to defend themselves, but also how to be men and how to be women.
Defend yourself in martial arts or karate, or just education.
Both. I always would like to have all of our kids know how to fight. Right? A real man knows how to fight, but knows when to use it. Right?
Yeah.
You're not going to go around, oh, I learned, and I learned martial arts. I'm going to go fight everybody. No, I learned martial arts. If I see somebody getting bullied, or if I'm getting bullied, I know how to protect myself, and I can protect somebody else with me.
Yeah.
What's that saying in Islam? Protect one life or save one life.
سورة المائدة موسى عيسى عليه السلام من أحياها فقد أحيا الناس جميعا whoever make alive you make everybody alive.
Exactly.
If you did a person in danger call they did all humanity.
So
that's Islam.
That's
Surah
Islam.
Al-Ma'idah, yes.
So when we teach our kids these little surahs and these little clips and these little things, and at the same time we teach them how to defend themselves physically, defend themselves mentally.
Yes, agree.
They're looking for, when you talk to these people, these criminals, you talk to them, they're looking for weak-minded, weak people, because there's a lot of weak people out there. And when you hear them saying it, the people who do these things, when you listen to the way they talk, it's very interesting and very scary at the same time, because I start to learn what they're thinking and what they're seeing, and now I do it. And I say, oh, the guy looks like he's got really bad confidence.
I have a question. Once I discussed this with Sister Leila, to make martial arts defending self-defense, but now, of course, Sister Leila in Ohio, we have other people in Texas, other people in Florida. So can we do this? That I stand here, teach some movement, teach it to the kids online and Sunnahfollowers.
It's
can
funny.
I do that?
It's funny you said this because sometimes when I scroll through online, I get these martial art experts and karate experts who will post these videos. Yeah, so they post these videos online, and you can watch. They're showing you how to do this, and how to do that. So it's free.
Okay, Sister Leila, we're going to have to discuss this, inshallah.
Yeah, make these videos. If you want to make these videos, but I tell the parents,
many people told me, actually Chinese people in Chicago, they told me, can you do this? I said, no, I have to be in the gym. You don't. But a lot of people do that. You
don't have to be in the gym. I see these videos. These guys are in their living rooms. They're showing people how to take each other down. I saw the one guy with his brother. Let me show you how to take somebody down. If somebody's going to come and punch you, how to defend.
My wife should go for. My wife should do martial art. My wife, mashallah, is a lady teacher actually, and she's a good fighter now. Yeah. So I'm afraid of her.
I'm afraid of my wife too, but she's not a fighter. But when we talk about defense, it's not just about that type of defense.
Yes.
It's not just about physical defense. It's not just about fighting and punching somebody or hitting somebody or dropping somebody. It's understanding also that if somebody's making fun of you, if somebody's trash talking you, if somebody's trying to make you feel bad.
Yeah, I like that.
That stuff right there, we have to put into our kids. Who cares what they're saying? I go up and I talk on stage, and I go up and I talk in front of law enforcement. I talk in front of kids. I talk in front of a group of people, and then the kids would ask me questions like, aren't you nervous when you get up there? Aren't you afraid that people are going to make fun of you when you get up there? Why would I care what people think? The information I'm relaying to you guys, the stuff that I'm trying to teach you guys, is what I care about.
Yeah.
And yes, I've been bullied. I've been told certain things about myself, about my face, about my my body or whatever. I don't care, because at the end of the day, what I'm trying to spread is awareness. I'm trying to be honest with you guys. I'm trying to save a life.
Yes.
And that's for me what really matters most. And so these kids, and the kids feed off of the energy that the parents are bringing to the table, right? So even if you're not teaching your kids how to be timid, how to have anxiety, how to be depressed, or how to be sad, they're watching you. They're feeling you as a parent. So you can pretend to smile. You can pretend to be confident, but your kid's going to know.
Yes.
Your kid's going to feel it. Your kid's going to understand. So when they're going outside in the world, they're going to be trying to pretend, but inside it's not going to work. It's not, because it's just pretending. It's just a mask. Right? So when you walk with confidence. When you talk with confidence. I watched a lot of these Dawa guys on YouTube and all these guys that are talking. I was just actually telling my wife the other day yesterday or today about a new one. I was scrolling and he came up on my feed, and I said, there's these guys who pretend, like, I can see it online. I can hear them online talking, and they pretend to have all this confidence about the deen, but all they're doing is watching these other Dawa guys and saying the same stuff that these guys are saying. And that's, they're just mimicking other things. They're trying to get views. They're trying to get, they're trying to get
views.
the views and the likes. And I said, I hope these young brothers aren't watching these guys and thinking of these guys as the role models.
Oh yeah, unfortunately, that's why I'm telling the people when I teach. Actually, we have to teach our kids the seerah, number one, and the Sahaba, the companion of Rasulullah, as heroes.
That's role models.
Khalid.
Yeah.
When I tell the people Al-Qa'qa' ibn Amr al-Tamimi and what he did with Khalid ibn Walid, who's Al-Qa'qa'? Who's Al-Qa'qa'?
Yeah.
But who's Superman and Batman?
The fake one. The ones that they use computers to make them fly.
Yes.
I mean, it's amazing to me that that's their, and then not just that, they think of basketball players as role models. They think of football players, the rappers.
I see that, unfortunately.
And you see that, and you're like, these guys are just throwing a ball into a hoop, or these guys are just throwing a ball. These guys, if you have a conversation with them, can they have a conversation? Can they have a real interaction conversation? That's not what you look for in a role model.
I agree. Well, something very important, and actually, I believe, a lot of kids, actually, all the kids, no exception.
There's exceptions.
Yeah, indeed. This phone is a ibadah. Now, how to make, I know it's hard for the parents to take the phone from their kids, or there is no way. In fact, I know some families, they give the kids give the phone because to be busy.
Yeah, and we did a little bit. We talked about that last week, where you have to fill up that time with something else, right? If these kids have all that time,
I know. I'm going. The dangers of that. You spoke about that, but I heard a lot of dangers, physically and emotionally, about that.
So one thing about the internet is, unfortunately, all of our information is out there. All of our information. We take pictures. We don't think that we're in front of our house with our address. We don't think on Snapchat, if we're taking a Snapchat, that Snapchat has our location, and you just friend everybody and anybody, and they can find your location where you're at.
I don't have this actually. I have Facebook and Instagram, the owner, and X, Twitter, for the news messages. But no, I heard a lot of things.
Yeah, there's a lot of things out there where we had a situation in one of the schools where I walked in for something for another reason, and I was told, hey, come here, I need to talk to you about one of the principals. I need to talk to you about something. We have a situation here, and the situation was a girl who is Muslim, who is a hijabi, who was on the phone with a friend, her best friend, and she wasn't wearing her hijab because she was talking to a girl, and she thought they're best friends, but the girl ended up taking a picture, a screenshot, and sending that picture to a boy that was in the school. And
well, hold on, repeat this again. It's really important. It's very, very important. A lot of people doing that for them.
A lot of people do it. A lot of people don't realize.
Repeat it again, please.
So when they're on these phones and they're FaceTiming each other, you don't realize that they can take a screenshot, they can screen record, they can do these things on their phone without you knowing, or maybe you will know, because I'm not an iPhone user, so I don't know too much about the iPhones. But that picture that was taken was sent to a kid in the school, and it was, oh look, it wasn't anything bad that those kids were doing. Oh look, she's so pretty. Why is she covering her hair? And all these things.
Yeah, very important.
That for us, it's like, wow, this is crazy. That how this is haram, this is wrong. And of course, the dad was upset, and the mom was upset, and we want to arrest this boy. This is crazy. The school didn't understand what the big deal was.
Ya Allah.
They're like, hey, she's not, she's dressed. She wasn't naked. There was nothing coming up. Like, we can't do anything. There is no content on this picture that says it's bad. And so I had to explain to them, a girl without her hijab is like naked to us. Well, that's not what the laws say.
The law something what Allah said.
So I had to explain to the girl, now you know that there's no such thing as best friends. And you think, and that's a friend that that Imagine the millions of viewers that viewing your content or doing, watching your stuff, if you want to be a social media influencer, and think about the issues that they have, and that they can see where you're at, know where you're at, and at any time, any day, they can do whatever they want to your content, and they can find you and they can take you or they can kidnap you. There's so many things out there that the internet has provided the criminals with. They've provided so much easy access because everybody wants to be followed, right? And this is one of the biggest things where I never wanted to be online. I never wanted to be doing stuff like this.
I encourage you.
I didn't like this because I was told many years ago, hey, Mohammed, you need to put your content out there, the stuff that you're saying. When I go to the masjids, I tell them, please turn off the cameras. I don't want
you always
yeah, I always say, don't turn the cameras on because I don't want people saying, I don't want people watching my content and taking it the wrong way. Or now with AI, with artificial intelligence, they can do so much with your stuff, with your voice, with your anything, and put you in certain situations.
But actually, when you are in your uniform, the police uniform,
that's why I don't.
But not like this.
Yeah, like this.
Alhamdulillah.
But at the same time, they can always edit. They can always Photoshop. They can always. There's programs out there that real estate agents use to take a 360 picture of you and put you into a house that you want to buy and say, look how nice you look walking around this house.
Oh my God.
It's very creepy and very dangerous of the stuff that they have out there. And we think, oh, it's just, me walking in the kitchen. That's so cool how it looks. But
oh my God.
If they can do that,
Ya Allah.
If they can do that to sell you a house, imagine what they could do to make you look bad.
Oh.
And so this is what I tell people, like, understand that there's a lot of dangers out there. That's why I don't like to be on social media. That's why I don't like to post my kids' pictures or anything about us and my family on social media, because people are evil. There's a lot of evil people out there. Not everybody wants the best for you. Not everybody wants the best for your kids. Not everybody wants the best for you. I was just talking to somebody this morning, one of my Muslim people that I'm helping out, and tried to explain to this person that, like, we Muslims have a problem. We don't care for each other. When we are going through bad stuff, when people are going through bad stuff, when you're going through a divorce, when you're going through something hard, everybody wants to be there for you, right?
Yes.
Everybody's, leave him. He's scum. He's this. She's this and she's that. But the moment you get married, or the moment you get back together, everybody leaves. Nobody wants to be around you because you're happy.
Ya Allah.
And so it's scary that as Muslims we should be the opposite.
Yes, agree.
But we're not. I don't know if I told you, I don't remember if I said this, but I was, when I worked in the courthouses, I used to work with a lot of lawyers, a lot of Jewish lawyers, Christian lawyers, and one of my buddies, he was a Jewish lawyer. I think he's still up there. He said to me, we were good friends. We were talking. This is years ago, over 10, 12 years ago. And it's still in my head from 12 years ago. He says to me, you Muslims are my best clients. Divorce attorney. I said, divorce attorney. I said,
Ya Allah.
I said, what do you mean? And he said, you guys have a Quran that tells you exactly how to do a divorce. But you guys, when you're mad at each other, you'll spend thousands of dollars,
Ya Allah,
to get back at each other.
That's a very important point. We discussed this, brother and sister, in tafsir the Quran suddenly. Imagine a Jewish attorney telling Brother Muhammad, he's happy because they're Muslim clients. Why? Because the problem with the courthouse, thousands of dollars for the attorneys.
And for nothing. Because at the end of the day, the law is the law. The law is going to tell you, you get to cut an assets in half. You have to give her half this. You got to, there's already a law. But when we're angry, we want to spend, and we want to spend and spend and spend to make that person miserable.
Yes.
Wives want to do that to their husbands. Husbands want to do that to their wives. And then at the end of the day, when I talk to these people, these husbands and wives, I say, I don't really care about you guys. I care about the kids. Because now the kids
that's very sad.
are going to be the ones getting the messed up. They're going to get messed up. Because we know statistically that single parents, kids that commit crimes and kids that commit people that are in jail, usually normally I think it's like 75%, 80% come from single households, single parent households.
Yeah.
And so it's sad to me. I know we always try to say, let's save the marriage, right? Let's save the marriage. Let's save the people. Let's keep them together because, the shaitan plays really good on us. It plays good on us. It plays good on our kids. And that's why I tell people, teach your kids how to be strong. You don't want your kids to be a victim in this world.
Yes.
If you're going through something, husband and wives, and going through some stuff, just keep that to yourselves. Don't let the kids see what's going on and fix it. Fix it. Fix whatever you can fix. If you can't fix it, just leave on a good note. Follow the way the Deen tells us how to leave, how to separate each other. Don't go bad-mouthing each other. Don't go talking about each other. Don't go to the masjids and start spreading rumors and saying things about each other. Oh, my husband did this, that's why I'm leaving him. Or my wife did that, that's why I'm leaving her. We don't say these things. You let the whole balad know what's going on.
Yeah, I'm facing this. And
it's haram.
Plus, destroy the community.
Destroy the community. And then now that person can't come to the masjid anymore because they're scared or they're going to be looked at in a different way.
So, Brother Muhammad, I mean, when we spend thousands of dollars for the attorney and for the court and this and that, so it's a waste.
It's a waste of money. But that's why they like us.
They like us
because we were going to waste our money. Because at the end,
Sunnahfollowers, listen to that.
At the end of the day, the law already says what's going to happen throughout a divorce. And he said, I know he was joking about it, when he was telling me these things. But I said, so if you know our Quran is very good and very right, why wouldn't you, become a Muslim? And I was joking, with the guy, and he started laughing. He said, no way. No way. And the one thing that he said to me, again, that kind of stuck in my head was, you guys live for the next life. I live for this life.
Yes, we do. The problem, that's why it's a brother or sister in Sunnahfollowers here, all over social media. It's very, very important to go to the Quran, to the Sunnah of Rasulullah to solve our problems, especially for household.
Yeah.
But in this Quran, Brother Muhammad, everything in details, how to get married, how to live good life, and then the problem, how to fix the problem.
Yeah, everything's in there.
But how many of us doing that?
I mean, I tell myself before I tell anybody else, we have to, make sure that we always stay on point with what we're supposed to do. And that's why I tell the kids, if you have to think twice if doing this is haram or halal, don't do it. Don't do it until you ask somebody you can trust. Hey, is it haram or is it halal? If it's haram, why is it haram? Ask the people why. The kids, because that's what the kids are. The kids are asking questions.
I agree.
You don't just say it's haram because Allah says it's haram. I get it. Yeah, if the Quran says it's haram, it's haram. But let me explain to you now why we don't do these things. Why we don't put drugs in our system. Why we don't drink alcohol. Why we don't smoke cigarettes. Why we eat a certain way or we eat a certain level of food. We don't eat this much food. Why? There's a certain reason for it. Why we fast. And now society's catching up. The science is catching up to why, Muslims fast 30 days. And we just found out that 28 days of fasting resets your stem cells and cleans your system.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this for 1,400 years.
Medically.
And now medicine just finally caught up. So when you explain to the kids and you give them the reasons, now they have some reasons to go tell the kids in school. Because every single year, I don't care how many years I've been working in law enforcement and in front of the same people. When it's Ramadan, I have the same questions. You don't drink for 30 days?
Yeah.
And these are the questions that...
I love them.
And so we explain to your kids how to talk to people, how to explain certain things. Your way, make sure it's the right way, but explain to them.
Yes.
And when you start talking to your kids about Islam, it makes them more confident in being a Muslim.
Yes.
Right? And then they know how to answer certain things. Because there's certain times where, these kids get asked a question and they don't know.
Yeah.
And if they don't talk to the parents, who are they going to talk to?
This is the key.
They're going to find something else.
That is the key, brother and sister. Let the kids open their heart to speak to the parents, 100% speak with your. Otherwise, they have friends.
Or they go on YouTube.
Exactly.
And then they find a sheikh that tells you it's okay to drink alcohol, but only a sip before you pray. But after you pray, you can drink just one beer.
Some people do that.
Some people do that. You see some weird stuff online now, and you look at the comments, because that's what I do. I like to read the comments from some of these brothers that are making da'wah and talking Islam and talking deen. And I read the comments and they're like, oh, thank you so much, brother. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for teaching me.
Corruption.
And I said, wow, this blows my mind.
Yeah. In the end, inshallah, Brother Muhammad, before the questions here, we need advice two advices. Hold on.
Mhm.
For the parents and for our kids.
So for the parents,
Speak to them, inshallah.
for the parents, we can't stop social media.
You can.
You cannot stop social media.
Okay.
So you're gonna let your kids watch with them.
Watch with them.
Watch with them, and,
Okay.
and you know, kind of put in their heads, oh, let's search something. Let's search how to, you know, self-defense.
I'm ready.
And let's watch this together. Let's watch something together. Let's watch how to do some self-defense techniques. If somebody's touching you, what are you going to do? If somebody's trying to grab you, if somebody's pulling your hair, if somebody's trying to pull off your hijab, how can I respond to this? Because we do, unfortunately, we have these people who like to pull off the hijabs off of our women.
Yes, yes.
Right. So we always want to make sure that how do I defend myself against this? So so watch the internet with your kids, and kids, watch and be careful with what you're watching. Understand that.
Repeat again.
Be careful with what you're watching.
That's what.
Like, understand that what you're seeing and what you're watching, the majority of the time is filtered. It's not real. If you're trying to compare yourself to the people out there that you're seeing online, you're never going to be able to win. Never. Because those people are fake. It's not real. I've seen a lot of people, a lot of girls who say, oh my gosh, I want to look like this. Well, how come I can't look like her? I want to look like that person. I see these guys who say, you know, I'm so fat, I want to have a six-pack like this guy. And you don't realize that those people that are having the six-packs or having these bodies or looking so pretty or looking so, they have tons of makeup. For the boys and for the girls. They wear tons of makeup. They have lots of filters, and they're doing some stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. They're injecting, they're doing some things. It's not real. But I do tell the kids all the time. I tell the kids, for the men, for the boys, work out, exercise, run, do some push-ups, do some crunches. You don't need to go to a gym. There's no need to go to a gym. You can do everything in your house. Push-ups and crunches. Do 3 sets of 30 every night before you go to bed. Yeah. 3 sets of 30 push-ups. Go to bed.
What do I have here?
Dumbbells.
So I have a gym also. Yeah. But if I'm busy, I exercise with me and my wife.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't need to, because I used to go to the gyms and I see these people with their phones and they're recording themselves with the
I saw that. Yeah, in the gym. Yeah.
And so I was, I was taking my son. I was like, I'm going to take my son. He's 13 years old now. I'm going to take him to the gym with me. But you see these cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And these people are working out, and they're workout social media influencers, and I don't want to be around that.
When I go with my wife, I watch my wife. And I watch also the people around her.
Yeah.
Exercise, yes. But I'm watching my wife, number one, and who's around my wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's goes
back. I know with hijab and everything covered completely,
yeah.
But just in case.
Just in case.
Yeah.
And you never know. There's a lot of sick people out there. And when you go to these gyms and you go to work out, you go to exercise, be careful and watch your surroundings.
Yes, sir.
Right? Try to pick the treadmill farthest away from everybody else. Try to,
we do that, yes. Excellent. Yeah, we do the same, yes. So brothers and sisters are very important, yeah. Be friend with your kids. Be friends. Yes, you are a father, you are a mom, no question. But at the same time, deal with their problem, with their anxiety. Speak with them. Also that Allah Azza wa Jalla يقول وجادلهم بالتي هي أحسن. Argue with them in a very gentle and nice way. And Ali رضي الله تعالى عنه, Ali, the one he married Fatima رضي الله عنها, the cousin of Rasulullah صلى الله عليه وسلم, he said خاطب الناس على قدر عقولهم. Speak to the people according to their mentality.
On their level. Get on their level.
Exactly. Their levels. So now, alhamdulillah, you have a question, Sister Layla, prepare a question. Allah, Brother Muhammad, you open my heart for many things here.